It is that time of year again, time to meet 10 New Mexicans throughout our state who are serving their fellow community members in various ways, whether it be creating programs, finding funding, delivering necessities, or engaging youth. This year's New Mexico Magazine True Heroes were nominated by their colleagues, family members, and those impacted by their service. And I am honored to introduce you to New Mexico Magazine's 2025 True Heroes.
Hi, I'm Ed Graves, CEO of New Mexico Magazine, and it is my pleasure to congratulate the 2025 New Mexico Magazine True Hero recipients. You will see from their initiatives how they saw a need and they took charge to make a difference. They truly go above and beyond to make their communities and New Mexico a better place. I would like to thank KOB4 and St. Vincent Hospital Foundation for partnering with us on this event. Once again, congratulations to the 2025 New Mexico Magazine True Hero recipients.
This professional basketball player scores big with youth camps that teach Native kids the game and inspire them to succeed off the court. Meet Annalise Benali.
My name is Annalise Benali. I was born and raised in Shiprock, New Mexico on the Navajo Nation. Right now I live in Farmington, New Mexico, and I'm being recognized for my community service. I've been doing basketball camps for Native youth and also for inner city kids. I played D1 ball at San Jose State University in San Jose, California. From there I started my pro season overseas. I've played in Romania, Albania, Kosovo, and then I'll be leaving in 2 weeks for Croatia. I first got the idea from a nonprofit I had partnered with. I just kind of saw how they were doing everything and the way that they were working in all their camps. And also my dad, he's been a very big influence, him and my mom, about giving back to our community ever since I came home. And basketball is the best way I know how to do it. It's part of my very first memories. My dad, he played in all the local tournaments ever since I was growing up. And then my sister also grew up playing, so I got to watch both of them. My dad was playing every weekend. My sister started school ball, and then she ended up getting a scholarship to go play NAIA at Kansas Wesleyan. So I did a camp for the Hobbs Super Tribe. I connected with a lady named Brenda, and me and my dad, we run the camps together. It was just so nice to see the kids really light up. It's always nice to really build that bond with a kid where they're that comfortable with you to like joke with you. It's like, okay, other than the basketball side of it, it's like we really get to just talk and communicate and maybe even be that outlet for a kid that maybe doesn't have that support. I've been doing basketball my whole life, and I just love it so much. The best way to help someone is not to think and just do.
Hello, my name is Lansing Adams, and I have the pleasure of serving as your Tourism Secretary for the great state of New Mexico. On behalf of Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham and the New Mexico Tourism Department, it is my privilege to introduce the 6th Annual New Mexico True Hero Awards. Our True Heroes represent countless New Mexicans across the state who show exceptional dedication in healthcare, education, volunteerism, philanthropy, hospitality, and culture. Their work uplifts our communities and contributes to a better future. Congratulations to our True Heroes.
In the shadow of El Morro National Monument, a small hub of mutual aid quietly sustains a community of aging artists and homesteaders. Volunteer Matthew Dagumbia lends a helping hand and builds community in the tiny desert town of Ramah along the Zuni-Acoma Trail.
We have to care for one another or we're screwed. That's really all we have that's real. Hi, I'm Twiggletoes. I'm here in El Morro, New Mexico. And I'm being recognized for community service and our vibrant community here. We live in the technical food desert. There's urban food deserts. This is a rural one, you know. You're 60 miles, the best store near here maybe is Safeway somewhere, and it's 60 miles each way from where we sit. And we have a huge population here. So in the store here, people can come in and make a request, and a week later we'll have it for them. And then a lot of the items end up being things that are requested all the time, and that's how it sort of snowballed. And that dovetails into taking care of our elders who are remote, who care homebound. They're either in stage 4 cancer or they're just, validly old and don't drive. And so we make special trips out into these very rural areas, winter all year long, to bring them their list of groceries. I was exposed to the needs of my community in the early onset of AIDS epidemic in San Francisco. And that put me right with people who were like in the caregiving stream. We all played these different roles with activism. If you're thinking about ways to get involved with your community, you can look for local organizations like we did with the fire department. Go to them, and you don't have to be a firefighter. You can plug in with these. There's dozens of organizations. Your thing might be getting kids shoes, whatever it is, and then just go to them and say, I want to plug in, but I don't want to be out front. I'd like to hide in the background, or be like, hey, I really like people. I'm a people person, and go for it. I go to bed tired, but very happy. I have developed a huge circle of people who care about me, and I care through caring about them. And so this reciprocity is what's going to get us through all this chaos these days.
Founder of Warrior League in Las Cruces, Marcy Dickerson has hit a home run with special needs kids and their families. She believes all families deserve to experience the joy of baseball.
My name is Marcy Dickerson. I live in Las Cruces, New Mexico. I'm the owner of 7 companies, but I am most proud of my charity work through Revolution 120. And some of those organizations are Cancer Warriors, Warrior League Baseball. We have Mammals to Answers, and just all kinds of other amazing projects that we do every day to make Las Cruces a better place to live. I was born and raised in Las Cruces. My family has actually been here since before we were a state. My grandmother was one of the first women there were 2 of them, to ever letter in athletics at NMSU. So she started the NMSU female athletic program, so we're very proud of that. I do subdivision development. We focus on attainable housing, so not affordable, not government sponsored, but housing that the normal working people can afford, because certainly our housing has gotten incredibly high priced. So we try to bring that down and give everybody a shot at home ownership. And then we have a women's professional development group that we run, and then my 501c3. So Cancer Warriors Week is a week of events that is devoted not only to fundraising for women facing all types of female cancers, but also creating awareness for those cancers, for early detection, for those types of programs. So we kick it off with the Pink Game, which is the NMSU football game. We have a giant tailgate. We have a Zumba program. Next week we have Bingo for Boobies. Then we have a Luminatias event, which people come and they color Luminatias in memory or in tribute to people they love that have either fought and won or fought and lost or are still fighting. The people of Las Cruces are so giving and so welcoming. Before me, there was a group of women that were devoted to the breast cancer fundraising, and it was tough enough to where Pink was what their program was, and it lasted for over 10 years, and I think their total that they raised was like over $8 or $9 million. Never think that you're not big enough to make a difference, because you can. I think it's so important for everybody to know that if you're passionate about something, you can solve any problem. You can. You have the power to do that. Don't wait. Don't sit there and come up with, I need a plan and I have to review my plan and do this. Just start doing. Because you can do so many amazing things, and you can change people's lives just with wanting something.
Silver City resident Patricia Morales Cano found new perspective after opening an emergency warming center last winter.
There is something that really opens your eyes to the mental health problems, to the addiction problems that we have in New Mexico that can be fixed, but it seems like no one really has the right answer. And we have to realize that the homeless are not all the same. They all have different issues, they all have different needs. And I think it's going to be important in the future, if we're going to do something with homelessness in New Mexico, is to get them involved in ending homelessness, because they know exactly what they need and what they don't need. I think there's too many of us who are well-meaning, but we don't really know anything about what it is to be homeless. And we don't really have that understanding. So if we can get them involved, and then they may be more apt to find solutions for themselves if we just provide services and provide encouragement. I started the warming center, or tried to start the warming center because of a negative experience. There's a homeless shelter that was open in my neighborhood without really talking to the neighborhood. And so, you know, when you have a place like that, sometimes people have to be let go. They can't, or they're told that they can't stay there. And so then there's no place for them to go and they roam the streets. And that's when they get in trouble and they break into, my house was broken into 5 times. And so because of that negative experience, our neighborhood got together. And we were actually trying to get we wanted the shelter out of our neighborhood, but that was impossible. But one of the things that came out of these meetings is that all my neighbors said, these people need to get help. In spite of what they were going through, they realized that there was something that needed to be done for them. I started a task force that wasn't tied to the city or the county, and it was called the Housing and Behavioral Health Task Force. The lady that ran the warming center came up with the idea, and we just kind of adapted it to Silver City. Because to me, homelessness was an abstract thing, something that I wanted to get rid of. And I think that's a problem in New Mexico, that a lot of people have not had contact with the actual unhoused. And you have an idea that you're going to solve the problems for them, or that all it takes is getting a job or helping them with their addictions or whatever. But it's much more complicated than that. And so to me, this was kind of a big experiment, you know, to get to know them. And that was the big deal for me, because I had never really been around anyone who was unhoused. So we have to find a solution, and we have to find a way to coexist. Me llamo Patricia Morales Cano y estamos aquí en Silver City, New Mexico.
Former school principal and teacher Ramah launched a nonprofit to tackle the state's literacy problem head-on. Reading Quest offers free tutoring services and literacy support to more than 500 students a week.
I used to ride my bike to the library every week, and I would pile books on my bike, like hanging from every part of the bike, sometimes so many that it'd be falling off on my way home. My name is Ramah, and we are at our Reading Quest Center in Santa Fe. So reading is the key to reaching your dreams. All kids deserve that right to really learn how to read, because that enables them to do whatever it is they want to do in life. But it also gives them the perspective of another person, allows them to travel the world, allows them to understand other points of view. So Reading Quest provides structured literacy reading support for mostly low-income kids in Title I schools throughout New Mexico. We're in 12 schools, including 3 schools in Taos, 3 Pueblo schools, 4 schools in Santa Fe, including a charter school, and a school in West Las Vegas. And we are trying to really equal the playing field and provide the highest level of structured literacy tutoring for kids whose families could not afford it on their own. So the truth is that our program is really successful because of the team of people that work with me. So we have this incredible group of 34 adults and 10 teenagers who are the most hardworking, passionate, kind people, and kids absolutely love them. And we have a director of operations without whom this program would not be possible. So really, it's the team that makes the Reading Quest program so effective. So kids, once they really learn how to read and start loving reading, not only does it allow them to read their math problems and do science and everything else, but it allows them to take their driver's test. And then it gives them all kinds of wonderful windows into possibilities for themselves. I would say that if someone's interested in making a difference in their own community, that they should think about something that they really love.
Medical student Caroline Pecos Duarte is making it easier for others to follow her career path. She used her leadership position in the Association of Native American Medical Students to help organize and host a Native American Healthcare Career Expo for high school students this year.
My name is Caroline Pecos Duarte, and I'm currently a third-year medical student at the University of New Mexico School of Medicine. And in our language, my name is Bawachi. and that means moon rainbow, and I'm from the Jemez Pueblo in northwestern New Mexico. So the work I'm being recognized for is the work that I'm doing with Native American high school students and other Native American students who aren't yet in the healthcare profession in order to provide mentorship and other opportunities for them to learn and show them how great the healthcare professions is. I had never seen a doctor who looked like me before. One of the most recent statistics, it was 0.4% of all practicing physicians in the United States identify as American Indian or Alaska Native. So clearly there's a huge disconnect between our communities and this next level of education. And I think there are a lot of things that contribute to that. Culturally, we're very drawn to, the place where we live. There's a lot of things that only happen in the Pueblo. There's a lot of things that, don't happen anywhere else. Yes, we can continue practicing our language elsewhere, but we're very culturally tied to our homelands. And I also think that there aren't very many pathways that provide inspiration for people. I mean, clearly, I had not seen another Indigenous physician until I traveled miles away from home when these people already existed in my home state. And so I think increasing representation, going out to high schools and kind of letting people know that this is possible and maybe this isn't something you ever thought of because you never saw somebody who looks like you when you went to the doctor's office, but we're here. And I think it's so powerful to have somebody who recognizes your own values and recognizes the influence of culture and how it plays into our health and our well-being to provide you with some care. This is where I want to be. This is the type of person that I want to be. And I know this is how I'm going to get back to my community.
How does a retired educator continue to give back to the community? Alamo's Violet Lucero weaves together craft and tradition to pass along an important Navajo lifeway to future generations.
I teach Navajo weaving class, so even the young ones, so they can keep their traditional weaving alive. I was taught by my mom, my aunt, my grandmother, great-grandma. I'm glad my mom taught me about weaving and disciplining me. So I have it now, the part of the weaving art. And it helps me relax and being free. I'm here at Wellness Center to teach weaving, adult class. I did some, and a youth class, and some of the people who wants to do weaving. I love weaving. It makes you have patience and relax you, and that's part of my traditional weaving here at Wellness Center. These young ones, I hope they're keeping their language alive and the weaving, and they can become better teacher, doctor, or whatever they need to do in life. It's very important for them to have education in this area. They can go out there, or they can stay here or come back or be successful in their life, I think. A lot of the people wants perfect stuff, but you can't be really particular. I make a lot of mistake, but it's okay because we all make mistake in the real world, and you learn from it. When I make mistake in my rug, I can see it, but if somebody's looking at it, they can't see it. So it's okay to make mistake to me. People are different. It's already woven in there, so it's in there, so I can't take it back out. Each one has his own story. Just tell them whoever you're doing it for, it's a blessing.
In a region suffering from addiction and poverty, former professional dancer Roger Montoya empowers children through creativity and possibility at Moving Arts Espanola.
There are so many heart-centered moments of our experience at Moving Arts over 18 years. But there's one moment a year ago. I walked in early into the art studio to find a little girl. She was set up. She had her shoes off. The brushes were there, the paint was out, and she was making a picture. And I said, Marisol, how did you get? She said, Moving Arts is my home. I wanted to get here early. I wanted to be ready to create. And I think my heart just sank into our mission. That is expressly our mission, that young people find comfort, the agency to be creative and to contribute and to feel safe. My name is Roger Montoya. I am 65 years old. We are on the pueblo of Okeawinge at the current home of Moving Arts Española. The enrollment at Moving Arts on an annual basis is about 800 children and their families. Some of them are unique, brand new students each semester because we run on 3 semesters. But we see about 325 each week, about 118 to 27 a day. I get to do magic with children, families, young adults. We use an ethos we call art is medicine, essentially creativity. We have a wide menu of options, and young people and their families dive in and they start to explore and learn to build resilience, find pathways to a brighter future. It's the most palpable and important form of education that I can think of. I think the most important way to make a difference in your community is to know your strengths. It's not really about money. It's about the joy of seeing the community lift into healthful ways and a future that is indeed brighter. That is the goal of service.
This is how a community invests in itself, says Shel Neymark. If we're going to survive in places like Dixon, we have to take care of ourselves at the local level. The Embudo Valley Library volunteer rallied other nonprofits throughout the state and lobbied lawmakers to ensure these critical institutions continue their good works.
Libraries create a place for Resolana. Resolana means literally a place to rest in the sun, but it connotes more of a place where community can gather, talk to each other. It builds community. My name is Shel Neymark. We're in the community center of the Embudo Valley Library in the middle of Dixon. I advocate statewide for rural libraries, and I live in Embudo, New Mexico, just down the road from here. About 8 of us founded this library, and it was quite successful. Libraries are about way more than just borrowing and lending books. Of course, that's an important part of libraries, but in rural areas especially, libraries have many functions besides creating community. Libraries connect people with government services. Many libraries do food distribution. They connect people with medical services. Libraries in rural areas help when there's natural disasters. This model for creating a stronger community where people take care of each other through the library inspired me to think that this model could work all over the state. And of course, it turned out that it is working all over the state. There's many libraries around the state in rural areas that have wonderful programming and create community. And there's others that need a little bit of help. My vision was an endowment. My vision was helping libraries build capacity. So having that vision is really important, and having a passion for it is really important. To really make a difference, I think you need to respect everybody. Anybody can make a difference in their community.
Building affordable housing is not easy, but Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity of Hobbs, Richard Sanchez, has constructed a network of volunteers who rally around the dream of homeownership.
I think we're built to serve. I honestly believe that with all my heart and soul. We just are. And if you don't know where to start, call your local Habitat for Humanity, and that'll get you started. What I find rewarding about building homes is the family aspect. The home, for lack of a better term, I think it's the backbone of a family or the heartbeat of a family. My name is Richard Sanchez, and we are at Habitat for Humanity in Hobbs, New Mexico. We build affordable housing, and we build it for low-income families. I think Hobbs is a very giving community, a very loving community. We couldn't do this without all the help we get in the community. It's such a nice thing. Like, I'll tell you, for instance, they're my neighbors. I've known them quite a bit, but Genaro and Ruth Gonzalez. They own G&G Roofing. They do all the roofs you saw today. They do them for free, labor and materials, and that's really important today. As you saw, we have volunteers that when I first got here, they're in their mid 60s, but now they're in their mid 70s. So to have a roofing company come in and do all the roofing and without me having to put my volunteers on the roof, it's just a wonderful thing. Plus, it's a $10,000 head start on building a home. And all that cost me is hatch green chili or my wife's enchiladas. You know, affordable housing is hard because everything is going up. Every other prices just keep increasing. There's not one city in the United States that has enough affordable housing. I really think it's really important having a stable, affordable home. It makes for a stronger family, and it makes for just a more independent and self-reliant family, I think. So I really think it's really important having a stable, affordable home.
We continue to meet more and more New Mexicans doing important work in communities large and small all across our state. Thank you. And congratulations to the 2025 New Mexico Magazine True Heroes who contribute day after day. And thank you to everyone out there supporting others and making New Mexico a better place. True community comes from your efforts.